Grand Rising, Agape Nation, Agape Community, Agape Family. I am Reverend Arlene Hilton, your director of Teen Agape and Odyssey, our young adults ministry. I'm here to serve you this morning with our selected readings. We have 2 readings, and these readings are for our inspiration today. The first is one of the foundational readings Reverend Michael used in the visioning sessions which birthed Agape. It can be found on page 37 of the book, For the Inward Journey. This book was written by Howard Thurman, and it is entitled, Keep Alive the Dream in the Heart. As long as a person has a dream in their heart, they cannot lose the significance of living. It is part of the pretensions of modern life to traffic in what is generally called realism. There is much insistence upon being practical or down to earth. Such things as dreams are wont to be regarded as romantic or as a badge of immaturity or as escape hatches for the human spirit. When such a mood or attitude is carefully scrutinized, it is found to be made up largely of pretensions, in short, of bluff. Humankind cannot continue to long to live if the dream in the heart has perished. It is then that they stop hoping, stop looking, and the last embers of their anticipations fade away. The dream in the heart is an outlet. It is one with the living water welling up from the very springs of being, nourishing and sustaining all of life. Where there is no dream, the life becomes a swamp, a dreary, dead place, and deep within, a person's heart begins to rot. The dream need not be some great and overwhelming plan. It need not be a dramatic picture of what might or must be someday. It need not be a concrete outpouring of a world-shaking possibility for sure fulfillment. Such may be important for some. Such may be crucial for a particular moment of human history. But it is not in these grand ways that the dream nourishes life. The dream is the quiet persistence in the heart that enables a person to ride out the storms of their churning experiences. It is the exciting whisper moving through the aisles of their spirit, answering the monotony of limitless days of dull routine. It is the ever-recurring melody in the midst of the broken harmony and harsh discords of human conflict. It is the touch of significance which highlights the ordinary experience, the common event. The dream is no outward thing. It does not take its rise from the environment in which one moves or functions. It lives in the inward parts. It is deep within, where the issues of life and death are ultimately determined. Keep alive the dream. For as long as a person has a dream in their heart, they cannot lose the significance of living. Let's take a breath on that. Our second reading is taken from Reverend Michael's book, Spiritual Liberation, and can be found in chapter 8, Creatively Maladjusted. It is entitled, Stand Strong in Your Soul Character. Begin to check yourself to see if you have allowed your personality to make so many adjustments that you no longer hear your unique soul call. Perhaps you've become fragmented, that when you walk into a new situation, the first thing you ask yourself, consciously or unconsciously, how can I navigate myself through this situation so that I'm looking good? In contrast, the creatively maladjusted aspirant asks, how can I genuinely offer my heart in this environment? How can I genuinely offer my heart in this environment? This is how you begin to regroove old programming and activate the evolutionary impulse within you to unfold your greater yet to be. Eventually, you will realize that the world didn't give you what is etched on your soul character, nor can it take it away. Only you can choose to let it remain unexpressed. When we study the lives of those individuals who had a strong, positive impact on society, we see that they somehow missed reading the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. They didn't always possess a pleasing personality by society's standards. What you will notice about such individuals is that they don't hang back, waiting for approval from others in order to be themselves. Harriet Tubman, Bishop Desmond Tutu, Helen Keller, Rosa Parks, Susan B. Anthony, just to name a few, are individuals who said yes to realizing the impossible dream, to reaching the unreachable star, and courageously expressing their purpose in life, their own unique soul character. And so let's turn within to our own unique soul character. Let's tap in to the divine that is within as we take this moment of gratitude. Just grateful for this moment to come together heart to heart, come together in consciousness, grateful for this opportunity to recognize that we are here to recognize the very presence of God that is everywhere evenly present. Grateful for the awareness that God is eternal life, that God is beyond Alpha and beyond Omega, and recognizing the very presence of God as the living breath I'm breathing right now, and the breath of each individual in the sound of my voice. We crack open our hearts today, we open our minds, and we allow ourselves to turn inward to our soul character as we sit in the presence, as we sit in meditation, as we listen to the inner call. Oh yes, we are saying yes. We are saying yes. We are saying yes by just being here in this moment. This is divine yes, and this divine yes is already supplied. It is fully supplied in the presence of God, in the mind of God. All is well and right and good right here, right now. I'm grateful. I'm grateful, grateful, grateful. Grateful for Reverend Michael and the divine yes he said 36 years ago. And grateful for the divine yes that you are saying right now. We go deep and wide into the presence. I claim it. I know it. We see it. Let's be it. It is done. It is done. It is done. And so it is, and so it shall be. Ashe. Amen. Hallelujah. Blessings, everyone.
Thank you so much, Reverend Arlene. Blessings and love, Agape Nation. Grateful to see each and every one of you here in my heart, in the place that you have located yourself in the center of the Agape Sanctuary of Divinity itself. I just welcome you here to our way of meditation. I'm Reverend Coco Stewart, and Reverend Michael is not here today, but he's definitely working, and we will hear more from him later on in the service. And I am so happy that I've been invited to bring forth this, to facilitate this time together, to do the Dharma talk, to facilitate the meditation. When Reverend Michael started speaking to me about this, you know, of course, we all know this is our anniversary month at Agape. I get a little giddy because he started talking to me about it, so whenever we were coming around to the beginning of the month a little bit ago, but I started hearing a song run through my heart, which is, it's the most wonderful time of the year. It is the most wonderful time of the year. And I'm not talking about Christmas, even though that's a Christmas song. I'm talking about the time of the year when, once again, we all bring ourselves back, as we do continually, to the center of deep, direct knowing that this living, loving consciousness that we call the agape consciousness birthed itself into this dimension through beloved Reverend Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith, through those of us who were smart enough to gather ourselves around the energy that was coming forward. It's the most wonderful time of the year for me, and I'm just so happy to be here. As a founding member of the community, I'm always, again, grateful to go deeper into the beginnings of the infinite that we call agape, because it had a life just as you do, just as I do, a life before it came into this dimension. It will have its sojourn on earth as divinity itself, and even later on, it's a continual dynamic truth of being that can never leave. It can never go away ever. So the essence of this, as Spirit revealed to me, is for you to know, as it says in Psalm 82, ye are gods, children of the Most High. Ye are gods. Now, sounds a little religious-y, doesn't it? And also, let's talk about what that means for just one minute. And that is, that doesn't mean you're the God of my being. It doesn't mean you're the God. It does mean, as a co-creative energy of your own identity, you are indeed the God of your own soul. That means you co-create. You have all the energy of the infinite to behold creation and all its wonder and all its glory, to continually come back over and over again, to continually expand your consciousness in that regard. This is what meditation does. Meditation is, of course, I love meditation. It's a cleansing agent for our consciousness. What a gift. What a relief it is to continually pull myself back to center, to remind myself of the godlike nature, knowing that we have all of God within us, yet we are not all of God. So having and knowing that I have everything I need within me to make my life new, and that in any given moment, I can express and experience all of the infinite that I can be open and receptive to. This is still a thrilling idea to me, even after all these years, and you know why. It's because there's always more of this vitalizing essence that we name God, that we could call our higher truth, our deepest knowing, our direct contact. It will keep us on the edge of our evolutionary unfoldment when we continually, in meditation, turn to that one power and presence. We declare to ourselves the eternal truth of being, one life, one power, one presence, at one in it and as it. We know that we live in a friendly universe and that it is only for us. So the all good, the all love, the all power, the all joy, it continually seeks expansion. Expansion in us and as us. Of course, we have a couple of things to do to allow that to happen. One of the main things is to come out from among them, which means to come out from mass thinkingness, as Reverend Michael talks about, as we know, to come out from any sense of otherness, any sense of separation. This universe is created in polarities. It's true. This was actually shown to me. You'll love this. I was reading a Rudolf Steiner book on a bus. Many years ago, Rudolf Steiner, you may be familiar with him. I'm not going to go into who he is. Deeply spiritual teacher. And in my meditation, I could, as I read the book, I caught inner sight of how creation as the one comes into this dimension and it splits itself into polarities that each one can know the other more deeply in this dimension. And our work is to remember, to recollect, to call back to ourselves, not just our oneness in union in God, but everybody else's oneness in union in God. I know sometimes that's an interesting practice. The work of meditation is to not just drop below that sense of polarity, any sense of duality, any sense of otherness. But it also is, for me, a practice to open the aperture of the heart and to go more deeply into the truth of being, to drop out of what appears to be life's struggles, the things that can seem or feel as though there is something against truth. You know, we take it personally. We could say against us, but even people who are empathic and large groups of people, it doesn't even have to be personal. They feel it deeply when there's an againstness happening. Now, that's an interesting language, isn't it? It is our practice, though, not to get caught in that, to observe it with love and to pull ourselves back to center. And meditation clears the field of our consciousness. One of the things that I learned deeply, which was, again, a big relief to me, was that I could trust the universe. You know, Reverend Michael every Sunday would say we live in a friendly universe, and I was one of the people that, well, I was here before the beginning, so whenever he spoke about it, I would have a lot of arguments in my mind with him about that, and probably in person, but not right there. I got to learn to trust that I could lean into this and give way to it, that there would always be a tremendous buoyancy of spiritual loving truth that would then be activated in my soul, because there's nothing outside of us, and it would carry me into my next greatest experience and expression of perfect being, of love, of joy, of engagement of my soul in what was mine to bring forth. It is a part of our spiritual practice to be willing to release and to let go of any sense of struggle. And again, meditation does that. Meditation does that. Sometimes within us, our sense of struggle is so deep that we don't actually even know it's there. It can be even invisible to certain aspects of ourselves, and yet we know when it's released, because there's a sense of relaxing into the all good of the infinite that is life and breath and body and being and truth and faith and joy, and is endlessly having its way. Around this time of the year, I do this with my kids because I have learned that it's really important to tell our creation stories. So always around my kids' birthdays, we always, and you know what, they're like 41. But I still want to tell them how much I wanted them here and how wonderful their appearance into this dimension was, and that I still celebrate, and that I do not take that for granted ever, not ever. So around this time of the year, I love to hear our creation stories for the Agape Nation. Yes? So here's the thing. You've all know that, that I was in the living room with Reverend Michael. Yeah, but where was I before the living room? You know that we moved our family from Orange County to LA so that we could be here, go deeper into this, because I was driving out here so many times. It was like, let's just move over there. You also know that I was one of the people, I was the one that carried the petitions at that church that, seemed to be, quote, against Reverend Michael. Of course, we all know that turned out to be a tremendous blessing, because then what was his and of his vibrational tone birthed itself. And yet I say to you, so where was I before that? Because this is my creation story today. So I always had the intention. I was always, and I mean I was born with it, not that I understood it. Of course, when you're little, you don't. But I had the tremendously great teacher was my mother, my first metaphysical teacher. She dabbled in many different spiritual teachings and traditions, and I was the one who was always with her from the time I was very, very small. I was always very, very interested. It never confused me. Somebody said that confused me, and I think it's because I knew that none of them had the final word. Somehow a part of me knew that. I just always thought it was all very interesting, and she took me around to a lot of different places. It was fascinating. I loved it, I don't know about being 9 years old and having to meditate with the Quakers. That was maybe a little more than but we did it. And there was a lot of other teachings she took me to. So I always had the intention of, there was something in me that knew this was something for me in this lifetime. Yes, you understand, I know you do. So having that intention and going through life and being at a time in my life at a certain point where there was a lot going on, but always yearning for a deeper truth, I had a dream. I had a dream that was a good couple of years before everything started being in place, well, in manifest form, for me to be a part of this community. Of course, that was a journey into itself, but I had a dream. And in this dream, and I know it came out of my longing, in this dream, it was that there was something that the only way I could articulate it was it looked like a bookstore. And I lived in Orange County, so in this dream, it was very much west of me and a little bit north. Later on, I realized it was around the place that Reverend Michael lived at the time. Of course, I knew nothing about that. I just knew that there was this place, and it was not a big building. It looked modest on the outside. The door was bright yellow, and as I entered into it, it appeared as though it was a bookstore. But, I mean, nobody was selling anything. I don't mean it that way. But there were books from the floor to the ceiling. And it was a very tall room, like the yellow door was very tall. And these were all esoteric teachings. And it was a very comforting, and it was a very warm, and it had a tone and a texture of truth. I mean, I just knew that it was like something that my soul just was thrilled to discover. I looked up, and there was a stained glass ceiling at the top that was gorgeous. I don't remember what the pattern was. I just remember the glass and the colors and the light. And then as I was just bathing in this, I looked, and there was a doorway that went to the back that led into the back. And when I went into the back, there were all the ancient scrolls and teachings from before the beginning of time as we know it. And when I woke up, I thought, I will love to find that place. I will love to be located in that place of warmth, of glow, of light, of the all-knowingness of the infinite. Now, that's not how I would have articulated it at the time. But so then when I tell you to fast forward, I'd been hearing Reverend Michael speak through my friend, Reverend Joan Stedman, who spoke here last week, because she was in class with him. So I knew his teachings to some degree. But this would explain why, when I first ever heard him actually speak in person, I caught sight of my soul coming across the vastness of space to land and to be with this teaching that he was bringing forth. I am so grateful that I said yes. Today, it's about saying yes. I invite you to go with me into that space at our time of meditation. Right here, right now. Oh, I'm going to bring my water. So I just invite you to sit up straight, right where you are. I invite you to uncross your arms, uncross your legs. I invite you can put a smile on your face if you would like. It's the mudra, the physical arrangement that lets your soul know that you are here to glow for God. So just take this moment as God's moment, as we become willing to dive ever more deeply into the heart of the infinite through love. Join with me in this place within our own souls where we can experience and express as much of the infinite is our heart and our soul desires that has ever been, or in fact will ever be, no limit, nothing held back, and no trying to make it happen. This is a relaxing into the somethingness of the infinite, and to have our willingness to give way to it with love. Picture the divine yes etched on your inward parts. Yes. So you may put your attention on your third eye, on your breath. We're engaging the divine yes that takes us below the level of the surface mind, directly into the depth of infinite, perfect being that has no beginning, that has no ending, and is from everlasting to everlasting, the brilliance of life itself. As we sit in meditation, we are activating our fully orbed God consciousness. Ye are gods, children of the Most High. Let everything else drop away. Keep your attention focused. And if it strays, with loving kindness, bring it back to center. Ye are gods, children of the Most High. I'm talking about you. Allow the divine yes to take you deeper. Go deeper in the stillness, paying undistractable attention to the divine yes. Just another moment. So begin to bring yourself back to this centering moment, to this time, to this space. As you take a deep breath, a cleansing breath, and just be with yourself for a moment. In the holy sacred temple of the Most High, which is your own consciousness of being. So I take this opportunity as God's own to bless each one who is in attendance here upon the living word of loving presence in every way and in all ways, in surety, in sweetness, in stayedness, and steadfast in the infinite. I'm grateful to behold the eternal truth of everlasting being that is the life of each one. I bless each one now and call forth the sacred yes. Ye are God's, children of the Most High, able to express and experience the infinite in all its magnificence and to expand that gloriously, to glorify God in ways of wonder and awe. So I bless each one tuning in. And I am grateful that even now the living word fulfills itself in this specific and exact way that every soul desires it. For God knows exactly what it's doing with each of us because it is the life of each of us. So in this blessing, I rest, I know it is done, and I let it be. Amen. Thank you so much, Agape Nation, for tuning in today. Now is the time in the service that, Reverend Michael likes to call it your favorite time, our time of conscious giving. I would like to invite each of you to just consider anything over the last 36 years that you may have gotten, any gifts from Reverend Dr. Michael's teaching, from any of the ministers, practitioners, any of the myriad ways that Agape has been in service and support throughout what we call this time period, but it is the eternal breaking into time, of course. I invite you to be in whole soul gratitude. And as you move into gratitude, I invite you to begin to prepare your gifts, your tithes, your offerings, your donations. As you begin to prepare, I'm just going to take a brief moment, and I take this opportunity as God's own to know that God is the life of each one that is tuning in, that each one is sourced by the infinite as the all good of life itself. The substance of God is the substance of every single one. So I bless the offering, the gift, the tithe that is being prepared now as a gift of the infinite to itself in a way, shape, and form that supports Agape and all its ways of being and expansion with love. So in gratitude, I let it be by saying, and so it is. Amen. I am going to tell you the different ways that you can give, of course. You can text GIVE, G-I-V-E, to the phone number that's up there, 424-321-6243. Of course, there is our fabulous QR code that we have right now, which is really wonderful. You can hold your phone up, and of course, it will tell you, just like on the Give thing, I'll say more about that in a minute. But the QR code will just lead you through your giving. What's wonderful is whatever platform you're on. If you're on YouTube, you don't have to leave the platform. You can use the QR code. If you're on Facebook Live, Reverend Michael's page or Agape's page, that's the same thing. So you don't need to leave the platform. You can use the QR code. I'm going to go back to the text to give. You can set that up that you can give one time, or you can continue to give. So if you're standing in line waiting for something somewhere and suddenly you have flooded with that saturation realization of your perfect being, activated, I hope, by being here in this community, you can use it again. Of course, if you're on our website, you're on a safe, secure website, you can push the donate button. And you can always mail in your tithe. Some of us like to do a little bit of everything. So you can make it out to Agape and send it to 8549 Wilshire Boulevard, Suite 1156, Beverly Hills 90211. You can also sign up for the Auto Tithe program. Go to our website, agapelive.com. Loving the Auto Tithe, of course, and that supports us in bringing forth our programs and everything that we're here to do. So as you continue to prepare your tithes, I'm just going to say, let's hear from Reverend Michael.
Peace and blessings, everyone. I'm here in St. Petersburg, Florida, presenting with Dr. Bruce Lipton. And you're at Agape. I'm so happy that you're there celebrating this month and throughout the rest of this year, our 36th anniversary. Last week we had our beloved Reverend Joan Stedman, an original member of our Vision Corps. And today we have the Reverend Deborah Lynn Johnson, the wonderful founder of the Inner Light Ministries, bringing home the message as well. She too was in my living room many, many years ago and has probably a plethora of stories of our beginnings and our continuation. Dorothy Pinkins is bringing the music. Our very own Reverend Coco Stewart handled the Way of Meditation service. And I want you to open yourself up and be absolutely available to the message and the music that flows through today, and continue to support Agape as it unfolds to its greater yet to be. Have a bright day.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Reverend Michael. There we go. Thank you so much, Reverend Michael. Always love to hear from him. And there's always a lot going on at this center, so you can continue to prepare your offering. And I'm going to invite Agape practitioner Victor Dickerson. We call him the voice of Agape. He works in reception. So when you call, if you call like on the phone and not text or something, you will hear Victor. So Victor is going to highlight some of our happenings. Victor.
Thank you, Reverend Coco. Good morning, Agape. We have a few highlights for you today, and please visit the Agape website, agapelive.com, for our weekly offerings and for more details on all of this. All times listed are Pacific Standard Time. Can you believe it's Agape's 36th anniversary? Get ready, because we're celebrating big this year, in person each Sunday for the rest of November, and as always, on live stream. We continue Agape's 36th anniversary celebration month today by welcoming our powerful guest speaker, beloved founding member of Agape's original Vision Corps, Reverend Deborah L. Johnson, lifelong social justice activist, founding minister and president of Inner Light Ministries, Santa Cruz, and author of The Sacred Yes, Letters from the Infinite. Reverend Deborah brings a powerful Agape energy. Get ready for a dynamic shift in consciousness. And save these dates as the cosmic joy-filled 36th anniversary celebration continues. Sunday, November 20th, during 9 a.m. and 11:30 a.m. services. Get ready for an anniversary service celebration radiating 36 years of Agape love, with special surprises, music, dancing, in honor of our beloved community's 36 years, localizing the cosmic celebration. The anniversary celebration continues on Sunday, December 4th, during 9 a.m. and 11:30 a.m. services with Youth Sunday. Reverend Michael and the Agape Youth and Family Ministry will deliver a message from the heart of our now generation, with inspired musical performances and the extraordinary wisdom, insight, and talent of the Agape Youth. Stay tuned. This is just a sneak peek of Agape's anniversary offerings and events, and please note, during the month of November, as part of our anniversary celebration, Agape will be open to the public each and every Sunday. If you're in the LA area, you can join us live and in person at 11 a.m. for meditation service, followed by fellowship service at 11:30 a.m. Pacific time. In addition to, as always, our live streamed services. One from the Heart Ministry presents Hot Communication, honest, open, two-way. I like that. Join us for an exciting Zoom event this Saturday, November 19th at 11 a.m. that turns up the volume on communication as a spiritual practice. You'll discover new ways to ensure your everyday communication is always hot. Reverend Dr. Coco Stewart, with guest speaker Janet Dion, will be featured. Janet Dion is a marriage and family therapist, Agape licensed spiritual practitioner, and certified integrative body cycle therapist. To register and receive the Zoom details, go to agapelive.com/hot. Today, One from the Heart is offering our online bereavement support group for those who have experienced the physical loss of a human loved one and meets at 2 p.m. Meeting at the same time, we offer an animal bereavement support group for the loss of an animal companion. Register on our website by clicking on the appropriate bereavement support banner. The Crisis Support Clinic offers Zoom mini counseling sessions every Monday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Email crisissupport@agapelive.com to sign up. This is offered to the community at large so anyone may attend. For years, we've asked Reverend Michael, what does he do to maintain such health, vitality, energy, even with his busy schedule? We know he meditates, exercises, and always has had a long list of supplements, including superfoods that he takes every single day. Well, now he has put all of these supplements and superfoods into one easy powder. Adaptogen Superfood Greens. Try it. You'll find it also tastes great, even just in water. Try the bundle and get your monthly supply with the Adaptogen Vitamin D3 K2 to boost your immunity in these stressful times. Order yours today. Go to Nutririse.com, click on the Adaptogen, and get 10% off on your first order. It's a little early in the morning, thank you. While not an Agape event, this does emanate from Agape. Here's a special invitation from our very own Reverend Susie Lula. Show the video.
Hi, Agape family. My name is Reverend Susie Lula, and I'm here with a very special invitation for you to join me, my free Soul Care Masterclass, Training in the Art and Practice of Spiritual Psychology. I've taken the best of current healing modalities and I married them with the best of spiritual teachings. So if you are a practitioner, a coach, a therapist, someone in the mental health profession, and you're interested in a specialization in this field, or if you're an individual, a mother, a parent, someone interested in cultivating closer connections with your children, your students, your spouses, please join me for this free masterclass, Training in the Art and Practice of Spiritual Psychology. The link is written across your screen. Thursday, November 17th, you will receive a replay if you can't make it live, and we'd love to have you join us. Much love, Agape.
From spiritual communication to the spiritual masterclass, we have it all covered for you. For more information and to sign up for Reverend Susie's free Soul Care Masterclass, Training in the Art and Practice of Spiritual Psychology, this Thursday, November 17th, please go to agapelive.com/Susie Lula. A special word to all veterans, as this is the Veteran Day weekend. Thank you for your service. Peace and blessings.
Wow. Thank you so much, Victor. Beautiful. So I'm just going to invite you to join with me in consciousness, please. We take this opportunity together in a united state of holy agreement to collectively, as the one, bless the offering. Bless the one who gives, bless the community that receives it, knowing that we can never outgive God, that it comes from divine substance, from the purity of source itself, and that each one who gives is richly blessed, as is Agape, in ways wondrous and awesome. So I bless the offering collectively as one, and I know what is done. Amen. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Please stay tuned, come back. We have a wonderful worship service with you. You've heard a couple times now. Reverend Deborah Johnson is our guest speaker. She is a founding member of the community. Our musical inspiration is Dorothy Pincus. So you're going to enjoy that. So we're going to stand up and have a song, and I'll do a brief benediction, and love to see you. Oh, and if you're, of course, in LA, come on over today at 11 o'clock for meditation, 11:30 worship service. So we have a chant.
Now is a time for me to let go.
So you can put a smile on your face.
The past behind me, I see anew. I'm ready for my change. I'm ready for my change.
And so how grateful I am for each one who is tuned in to be indeed absolutely available to allow the shift, the change in consciousness that comes through deep connection, through soul practice of living, loving, heartfelt meditation, engaging the sacred, holy yes of being that brought each of us here, and our whole soul responds to that. So elevating, illuminative, healing, pure joy. So in gratitude, I bless each one. I give thanks. I bless Reverend Michael, giving thanks for him as we celebrate 36 years. So in gratitude together we say, and so it is. Yeah, like all 5 people are agreeing with me. Amen. Thank you. Love you guys. See you next service.